Woody. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, back in the garage working on my old favourite, the Nissan. Got a little problem with the wiper motor, so I'm going to see if I can sort that out. I'm also going to see if I can have a look at the central locking unit on the driver's door, because there's no motor in there. It was taken out when I had an alarm fitted years ago, and I've actually taken the alarm out. So now I need to see if I can cobble something together. I think I've got a motor somewhere, so I might be able to hook up the wiring again and see if I can get the central locking to work. So we're going to grab a few tools and we'll get started. So as you can see, where the actual wipers finish is not the correct place. So I don't know if it's actually jumped a cog or what, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bit the wipers off, take the cowl off and have a look at the motor, because it should settle further down there so it's level. So I might have to just move the arms, but when it starts it goes down first. A second. See, it goes down first, and it shouldn't, it should just go straight up. So I think the motor has either moved or is in the wrong place. So like I say, I'll whip the cowl off, whip the wipers off, whip the cowl off, and we'll have a look at the motor. So removing the wipers is pretty straightforward. It's 14mm nuts on the top, and that one. So I put the bonnet down. Let's give them a wiggle. There we go. To remove the cowl, he screws along the actual weather strip. Gives me a chance to give this a good clean as well under here. Not that it's dirty, it's just while it's off, might as well clean it all underneath. And there. Give this a good clean underneath as well. It's got a little... Yeah, and then there's little plastic plugs on there, holding that in. Okay, and I think it's clipped in there, if I remember rightly. Right, put that somewhere safe as well. Something like that. And that should come out from there. Next stage is to actually have a look at the actual motor mechanism here, because I think it might actually be cocked in the wrong place, or I may have jumped. So I actually used the wipers, and I came to use the wipers and it was in the wrong position. I think I'll change these nuts as well for some nice stainless jobs while it's all off. So you see how the tape goes down and then back up. So that's what I've got to try and fix. Any second now, I think. Right. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to disconnect the entire motor from the actual mechanism and see if I can reset it in the right place. So I've taken the motor off just to have a look at the actual thing, plus I'm going to upgrade the bolts. These nice aluminium dressed washers. It's looking a lot nicer. I'll give the actual plug in, the actual thing, a bit of a clean as well. I don't think it's actually jumped or anything. I don't think that's possible, so it must just have been aligned incorrectly. It's on a, you can see that, like a spline drive. It's got like a square edge, and it goes into a square edge on the actual mechanism. So what I think I've got to do is actually line this up correctly. Hopefully that should cure the problem. So what I think I need to do, if you can see in there, there's the little slot the actual motor goes into, and I don't know if this is actually been set in the right place. So I did take all this apart when I repainted the car. So I'm going to have to see if I can get that in the right orientation. It needs greasing up by the look of it. So I'm going to whack a bit of grease on there. Let's see if I can get that in the right place. So I'm going to pop the motor back on with the new bolts, of course. Give this a bit of a clean first. Give it a bit of a polish. And then we'll pop the motor back on, see if I can line that up properly. So I don't know if that's all the way over. So it's got to go like that, I think. We'll have a look. If that's pushed all the way over, it's got to sit something like that. And then it goes that way. Instead of going back and then forward. Anyway, we'll have a look. We've got the freshly cleaned up motor. It's got a little bit of a paint chip there. Could do with taking off and repainting, so I might even do that. But I haven't got any red paint at the moment, so I'll order some in. I might just pop that off and redo it just to freshen it up. Give a little bit of the old gloss enhancer along there, just to brighten that up. Woody sounds annoyed. Time for your walk soon. Yeah, that's much better. I'm going to put the rubber back in first, which I've treated with some back to black, just to give it a bit of a clean up. Something's annoying him. It's annoying you, Woody. Like that. Right way around. Dirt. Let me just see if I can get rid of that dirt. Right, so if I try and line that up, that's all the way that way. New bolts in. See if it dips down before it kicks up. A little bit, doesn't it? It's still dipping down before it goes up, so that's not quite in the right place somehow. So while I'm messing about with the motor, I thought I'd just give my wiper arm another coat of paint. It looks glossy now, but it's actually satin black because it's very wet. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. Then we'll try that on and see if it works. I think it does kick down still a little bit, but I'm going to have to set it so the arm is slightly higher. And then it kicks down when I turn it off, and then it hopefully should just lock in place. But like I say, I'll wait for this to dry and then we'll whack it all back together and see how it looks. So I think I've got the motor in the correct place now. It does kick down a slight bit when the motor's turned on. It sort of kicks down and then goes up, and then it sort of stops higher. But then if I just give it a flick on the actual switch, on the actual arm, it brings it back down to a resting place. So I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to continue and bolt everything back up. I've got another bolt to go in there, tighten everything up, make sure it's all buttoned up. I'll put the cowl back on when it's clean, and then I think I'll take the driver's door card off and have a look at the central locking motor, or lack of. So it's all built back up, but still goes down first, and then it stops there. I'll put the window on, you can see that. If I have it lower, set lower, it goes down and smacks the actual bonnet. So I'd rather have it do that, and then like that, and then turn it off. There. So I think that's something that I'm going to have to live with. But if anyone has any ideas why the motor does that, give me a shout. This is a ZX hatch motor. It's an engine and wiring from a ZX hatch, but I never took the actual mechanism out from the saloon, so I don't know if there's an actual difference between the hatch and the saloon wiper motor. I doubt it, to be honest. Anyway, there's any ideas, just drop me a message below. But I'm just going to have to live with it, I think. So next step, I think, is going to be taking this door card off, and we'll have a look at the central locking. So when I use the central locking, as you can see, when I open it, it works fine and opens all the doors. When I close it, it locks the driver's door, but not the other doors. But on the main power lock switch, this still works. So he locks all the doors and unlocks the doors, except for this driver's one. So I think when they fitted the alarm, I think they must have cut some wires, because I believe there's some cut wires just behind the actual door card here up to the motor. But I can't remember if the motor's in there, because I think they put an actuator in, like an aftermarket actuator, to work the alarm. And the alarm's all been taken out now, so I'm just going back to standard wiring. So I'm going to whip this door card off, and then I'll investigate what's behind it, see what we can discover, and see if we can actually wire the motor back in. So removing the door card is pretty simple. There's a screw here behind the handle, which then take this panel off. Now you've got these little plugs here. I'm actually missing one there, so I'll have to see if I can find one. And then there's little screws behind there. Needs a bit of a clean as well, so I'll do that while it's off. Because the interior is getting a bit grubby, can't have that. So we'll give that a good clean. So we'll take these screws out here, and there's clips along the bottom, and I believe there's a screw underneath this as well. There we go. So why is there? So it looks like I am actually missing. I'll bring you in for a closer look. You can see that in there. It does actually look like I'm actually missing the motor, which is a little bit annoying. So I think I'm going to have to I'll look through my spares and see if I've actually got one somewhere. Where all the motors are on the other, that's obviously why this one's actuating the actual door lock. So I'm going to have a look at some diagrams, I think, and see what we can actually come up with. If anyone's got any idea what parts I'm actually missing, then drop me a comment below. It's just that we'll have these alarms fitted, and these so-called automotive wiring experts just butcher your locks and your mechanisms, and then you think nothing of it till you actually take the car apart and start rebuilding it and think this part's missing. Right, so definitely two wires, got to go to something. So I'm going to look through my spares box and some wiring diagrams, and we'll see what we've got. Also needs wax oiling in this door as well. It's a bit dry in there. Give it a clean out and a wax oil, I think. But not too bad, nicely painted still. It's got to have the damp sheet put back on, so I'll do that as well, I think. So I've got some plastic. Okay, so I'll look through my parts, like I said, and we'll move on. So before I start looking through all my parts catalogue, I thought I'd just have a look at the Nissan FAR system. I found this CD, I've had it for a long time, but I just found it and reinstalled it on this computer. So I'll have a look for Sunny N13. And have a look for parts. So look for, if we just put in window. Right, brake assembly, power window, that could be it. So if we have a look at the illustrations. So for the passenger door, rear passenger door, it's going to be on a motor like this, isn't it, I think. So I'll have a look for something similar to this in my parts box. I'll look through the illustrations if there's any more. No, it's just the wiring. And okay, that's interesting then. So we'll have a look in my parts box, see what we can come up with. Hopefully we'll find a part similar to that, or if not, we'll have to look online, see if we can get one from a second-hand breaker or something. Right, so I've been through all my parts, covered in cobwebs and bits of dust and all sorts of dirty stuff, and I can't find anything that resembles that door mechanism. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this door guide on the passenger side and take some photos of the mechanism on there and see if I can match something up online. Okay, so what I'm looking for is this actuator motor. So I'm going to pop this out now so I can get some part numbers and things off it, and see if I can get one for the other side. And then it looks like there's a plug missing. That's obviously the wires they cut off it there. These two wires is obviously ones that they cut off on the other side. It might even be, and then like I did with the window winder mechanism, an N13 part might even fit. So I'm going to pop that off, get it on the bench and clean it up. So there's a closer look at the actual part. As you can see, it's just a little electrical actuator. So that's all I'm missing, and I'm pretty sure I've seen one of these in my parts box. So I think I'm going to have a hunt around, but I'll also go online as well and see if I can find another. There's a part number there, if you can just about see it. So I'm going to go online and see if I can find one anyway, just to see how much they are. But I'm almost 60, 70, maybe 8% positive I've got one in stock somewhere. Because I actually got a spare door when I rebuilt the Nissan, and I'm pretty sure it had one in it. But I've got a mass of parts in boxes in the storage lockup, so it's going to be a case of just spending a day and hunting through them all, I think. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I know it's been a bit of a mixed bag again, but again, problems sort of started but not really fixed yet. Wiper motor's not exactly working how I want it, and I'm still missing a central locking actuator. So the journey continues with building the Nissan. It's a slow old process. That doesn't really bother me in the slightest. So if you've liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.